So, Talking the Tale, Blunders in the Tundras, episode 3. Last episode we spoke from session 6 to 11, and we're going to be starting from session 12 today. So we're still, and as of this recording, episode 26 has just been completed. So we're still a bit behind, but hopefully we're catching up. So hopefully we'll catch up and then do longer talks on each of the episodes, but brief in comparison to the 4-hour sessions we do. I believe the last thing we picked up on was you guys sailed across to the Isle of Helvetica, going to investigate the sus ships, and were attacked by 2 assassins that attacked you on behalf of Brunhilde, as far as they said. And you made your way into the town of Helvetica to start your work there, so feel free to pick up anyone.
Yeah, so we got into town. These people started going
Super talkative.
What that?
I was just saying, we were all super talkative.
I was going to say, that was a long, awkward pause.
Yeah, we were like, who's going to
I
talk?
can't really remember what happened.
2 weeks for us.
Yeah. I've what it is, I'm reading my session notes as you guys are talking, so I can at least put my inputs in.
So we got into town. We ended up getting. We got met by someone at the front gate, didn't we? The town was under some. It wasn't quite.
Oh yeah, we met the copper dragon ball.
Yeah, the copper dragon called Copper.
Yeah.
No, yeah, it was the Dragonborn Copper Dragonborn Guard. Yeah.
Yeah.
That it took you almost the entire session to realise the pun in that name.
No. We realised
we
the pun. Yeah, we realised the pun, but we didn't think you'd actually go for it.
No, I did.
We had a higher opinion of your humour, Danny.
Wow. But no, I made the Dragonborn copper coloured because copper god. Funny. I enjoyed it. Okay, go on. What was that?
I have a question for everyone before we get stuck into what actually happened. When we arrived in town and, we've been told the sus ships, did anyone have like a bit of an idea of what it might be? I think that would be interesting to see if people thought it would be a certain thing that it turned out to be or didn't turn out to be.
Do you want to know what's really funny?
Just assumed pirates.
No, do you want to know what's really funny?
Yeah?
My subtitle in the session notes for that section is The Sus Ships. That's exactly what Rose just called them. I didn't give them like a proper, because I've got subheadings for like each section of an episode. I usually have 2 or 3. That section's called the Sus Ships, so I like that. But go on, carry on.
I thought they were like ghost ships. But they're speaking still.
Oh, so like similar to the Sea Graveyard.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
See, I thought it was an infiltration. Not of, obviously, the one that we found out it to be, but just like maybe from a different continent or something. But nothing, as extreme as what it was. I thought these people were just like, they'd arrived on land and we were going to find them out and about, if that makes sense. They hadn't actually taken over the town, which we will get into in a bit. It was more so like we were going to encounter them at the beach or maybe like in the surrounding forest. So I was quite surprised when it was like they've actually taken over the town. I thought they'd arrived there because I got a bit hooey with my timeline, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And this is coming off just as well from off the back of the magic stuff. So I was kind of like, right, that one's been sorted. Put a line under it, and then onto the next one. So it felt like they were very small. And we just encountered ghost ships as well from. Where was it?
The graveyard.
I nearly said Cross Rodata, but that's a different town in another country entirely.
What's Cross Rodata?
Cross Rodata is a Dunvast town. Dunvast is the town. It was Degron. Cross Rodata's in Degron. Okay, ignore me. Dunvast is the town with the sea graveyard.
Wait a minute, we've never been to Degron.
Yeah, that's a country I ran a different campaign in. I've just realised.
Okay. I was thinking, is this something we shouldn't know about?
Yeah, the zombie one.
Start that one back up.
I did a zombie apocalypse campaign in Degron, and it was actually really fun. It was just the players didn't take to it as much. But
was that the one where you ended up TPKing them because they tried to kill a bunch of guards or something?
I had a real problem player, and it just kind of ruined the entire thing. But either way, next we'll move on from that.
Move on from that, from this recorded thing that we're putting live on the internet.
Oh yeah, the person knows and he's well aware, but that's fine. I ain't gonna bring it back. But either way,
Stop it, Danny. Stop it.
Yeah, that's the plan. But yeah, so yeah, you're on about Dunvast.
Yep.
So yeah, when we were in Dunvast. So I mean, Adam, that's quite a good shout that it was ghost ships. But
It would have made sense, yeah.
That's what the vibe was thinking from it.
It could have been a follow-on.
At this point as well, I don't know if anyone else thought it was. I thought this was like the main campaign. So you know how we were doing side quests up until that point, and we not really found out much about what we knew obviously a bit about Brielle and some of the stuff that was going on. But I thought, it's going to be some kind of invasion-esque campaign,
like an invading force, yeah.
Yeah, because at that point I was like, this is a huge thing. This force is coming in, and maybe it's going to be because I know we had a bit of a war in our second campaign, Montezora, but it kind of felt in the same line of your world, Danny, if that makes sense, because we had Salzy, which was all about
coup,
infiltration, a coup. Then Montezora was all about the Civil War, and then this one would make sense to be about an infiltration. And
I'm so fucking glad that I went against the grain, because I purposely did a big UE on the main plot of the campaign to what it is, because I didn't want to do something samey. I wanted to try and do something. So I purposely went with something far away from what I'd done in the previous two.
It would have just felt kind of the same.
Exactly.
Again.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, I did. I purposely went in with the mindset of, my main campaign's gonna have nothing to do with shit like that. Like no wars, no invasion, no shit like that, because I've done it twice already.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it did. I mean, shadowy group in the first campaign, shadowy group in the second campaign.
Yeah.
Shadowy group in this campaign.
We found the plane. Should we move away?
I've got no problem. It's just looking at it going, Danny has a type. Good.
Well, I mean, it's medieval fantasy. There's always going to be a shadowy group somewhere.
I was going to say, tell me a campaign that doesn't have one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying anything. It's like I say, it's just like, oh yeah, no, I can see pattern.
Yeah, but no, this campaign I've tried my hardest to try and do different things, which is the reason why, if anything, I think this is so far arguably the best campaign I've ran, just because it's different.
I don't know. I think Salzia was quite good.
No, I hated Salzia. I died in that one.
I knew there was a reason why I liked it.
Michael. No, stop it. You might be so gleeful, but you murdered us all.
We're supposed to be talking about the Brielle campaign here. Come on.
But anyway, you got shacked up in Kazunmeyers, because the way this town works is there's like a large hotel / homestead for people to stay, and then there was like 5 surrounding small taverns, because it's an island city. It's very much a feeder for, no, not a feeder, it's a leech off the mainland for supplies and stuff. This country does a lot of fishing, it seems. It has a lot of small vessels that go out often. And you were aware, after speaking to the Copper Guard, that the ships were in the north of the island, and you also spoke with the leadership on the island as well, the ruling clan that looks after this island.
Yeah, I spoke to the Lord. We did a few things. We noticed.
I'm just quickly pulling up the name.
Persephone noticed several
Unterskjals.
tunnels. Yeah, yes, noticed several tunnels around town when she did her little scout.
Yeah, that was where you had your first encounter with the like the first proper encounter with the Copper Dragonborn, because it was Layla, Persephone, and Cass were hiding behind Kazunmeyer's, fucking with a tunnel, and the guard told you guys to clear off, and you were all being
behind
sus.
Kazunmeyer's, though. It was different. It was.
And I
different.
remember this. Was it Persephone who started talking about women's problems?
Yes.
And I could nearly die.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, it's a way to get out of it. Because every conversation was failing, so I was like, you know what, I've got no option here. I'm going hardcore. That'll embarrass. You won't expect it, and it works.
But no, yeah. So,
annoying.
but you guys immediately put him on the top of your sus list because he told you to stop acting suspicious round the back of a building with a tunnel. Like, you know, that makes perfect sense.
I'm now thinking, I don't know if this is right or not, but I reckon he was one of the infiltrators. Because, from my personal kind of viewpoint, the way that I was thinking about it is people could just be walking outside. He had to know that that tunnel was there to be suspicious of us.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
more than
we would
likely,
be
yeah.
chilling outside the back of somewhere. Like,
I mean, it's possible.
have you not gone to a club with someone where, you know, someone goes for a cigarette around the back of it? Like, you know, it's just a normal thing that, at the end of the day, that, to me, is suspicious that he knew that we were being suspicious. Do you know what I mean? It's like, otherwise, what's the point? Like, so for example, if you're, like I say, at a pub and somebody's just walking around the back, you wouldn't think twice about it.
But you weren't, though, because you were hiding around the back of someone's house.
Oh, was it someone's
No,
house? I thought it was.
Yeah,
I thought it was
no.
Kazunmeyer's.
No, that we found that one separately.
Oh.
And you used
Yeah.
that tunnel afterwards.
Yes,
Michael, you're
yeah, you.
completely
Oh no,
right.
yeah, you're right. Because Persephone purposely went round town and found like 4 or 5 different like tunnel entrances.
This is also where Boomer broke that poor guy's shop.
Oh
Yeah.
fuck yeah! He undid the fucking screw on the guy's market stand. Oh fuck yeah!
Not intentionally.
What? Oh,
Literally,
what? Your
intentionally,
screwdriver
pulled the screw out.
Hang on. Your screwdriver accidentally found its way into the screw and accidentally unscrewed it.
No, it was a loose nail, what I remember.
You still put it
Yeah,
out and put
either
a camera in the
You, let's say, you didn't put it back in, you moved it further out.
Yep. And
Whatever
then,
you did
and then the
was
slightest
was-
touch on it just knocked it over.
Yeah.
You were not fixing, you were deconstructing.
I was doing something.
Minimising, we'll say. He was minimising.
Yeah. But I managed to repair the stall somehow.
Yeah, you managed to fix it.
But yeah. And I know it was on the night, like after you guys did like this initial investigation around town and stuff, before you went to the ships, on the morning, that was when Layla had her gift that you guys
Oh god, yeah.
found out about and were immediately suspicious of, but she refused to allow you to probe into it.
This is my point, right? From thinking as Cass when that was all going on, there was like things involved in this, and I don't know if Michael or anybody else thought about the same. But if someone comes to you and says, "I want to check if this is a good idea or not," and you tell them that it's not a good idea, what's the point in going to speak to that person? You've already made your mind up.
I think it's
and
probably
two-
just a case of wanting someone to agree with you.
Yeah, she wanted.
Exactly.
I don't think she was looking for an opinion. She was looking for someone to back her up.
Yeah, she was looking for validation.
That's-
She wasn't
that's
looking
the
for
word,
someone
yeah.
to back her up.
Yeah, that's the word. She wanted
At the end of the
validation,
day-
not your opinion.
Well, I think the way it didn't come across like that, maybe if it did, no, Cass would have still said,
Oh, no.
it's not a good
Oh, no.
idea if you
No.
stay under an offer with yourself after
Oh no,
Dragon.
we as players knew that's what she meant, but Layla didn't get it out like that at all.
I can say.
No.
All right, but yeah.
Um,
So and from what you guys saw, it was a dark red wood box with a deep purple silk ribbon wrapped around it. It had a letter with it, which you guys didn't see.
Yeah.
But Layla
Also,
did.
Layla was being super suspicious at
Oh,
that
fuck
point as well.
Basically,
like-
it was a treasure hunt. You saw the map that basically led to a cave that was on the northern side of Helvetica, which was semi in between where you had to go anyway. And she split from you guys to go and do it.
So at that point as well, she was saying it was a gift from her mother.
Yes.
And I think we'd already met Morgan.
You did
by
back
that
when
point. We already met him.
Bug.
Yeah, and Cass kind of knows Morgan, and it didn't seem like Morgan would do that. So Cass was like, I can't really tell this girl, yeah, I know your mum, like, quite well, I think, in fact. And it was like that, going down that kind of thing where she's like, no, it's definitely from my mum. Did your mum answer all her things? But she was kind of like withholding information, and Cass's like passive insight so high that she was getting sus vibes from like strongly. Also, like, whose mother sends you after a dragon? Like, I know that was
you
Layla's
didn't know what it was.
story. Yeah.
I
didn't know who it was. I just knew it wasn't Morgan at that point.
No, I mean,
think
you didn't know what the prize was. You didn't know what the gift was. You knew, obviously, she came to this country looking to hunt an item from a dragon's hoard. That was the actual thing.
Well, so there were like 3 things at this point that was kind of like going in Cass's head. Is one, Layla has said that she needed something from ancient red dragon hoard, I think it was, or something like that.
She had to get the dragon wasn't specific, but she had to get a gem from the bottom of a dragon's pile, like hoard.
That's what she was telling you when she came for the validation. But she'd made it open from the beginning that she'd come to hunt. From the very beginning when we met her, she made it very open she was there to kill a dragon.
Yeah, because in the fight against Hagen, she said to Hagen, and Hagen was like, "Oh, whose mother sends you to do that?" And it made her really upset at that point.
Because Hagen basically said, "What mother would send you to do that? It's clear she doesn't love you because it's a death. It's a death sentence."
Was like very supportive after that fact. He was really nice.
To be fair, that was a quick off the cusp line because she mentioned it, and fuck me, the silence on the Discord call at the time, you could tell that was a banging comment that cut deep. Like, the entire party just kind of froze for a moment, like, oh.
Well, this is it. And, well, Cass is very good at connecting to dots, so it was like the third thing is also on the trip over to Helvetica, Cass has seen a large creature flying in the sky, and they decided not to tell Layla because she believed it to be a dragon. So she put 1 and 1 and 1 together and got 3 and was like, that's a dragon, Layla, don't be stupid. And then Layla was like, oh, I wanted you to tell me yes, but I think that's where a lot of the Cass Layla
a big argument happened, and in the end she went off anyway. Boomer followed, but from a distance, just to keep an eye.
He did, because he was worried about it.
Yeah, and for the sake of briefly summarising what happened in that, because I did it as a separate session, but the problem was the recording had no audio, so I don't have it. It was she was sent to seek a dragon, which she found, that she was meant to do a trial with, a test. And the dragon gave her the trial. It was a bronze dragon, I believe. I'm just pulling my notes up to check. But she failed. The dragon basically said, go home. You're not fucking ready for this shit. You need to pack it in. Like, go train. Try again. And that's when Z, her sugar mommy at this point, came in and was like, no, you motherfucker. No, you don't. And killed the dragon with a dragon slayer's sword that was then given to Layla, along with Layla being allowed to pretty much take whatever the fuck she wanted from the dragon's hoard. Just basically grab arms full and just go for the hills, like, fuck it.
Mm-hmm.
Boomer saw that fight with the dragon. Boomer saw this white-skinned woman with black armor and this wicked sword and infernal-esque abilities tear this ancient gold dragon to shreds, solo. Because I've just found it was gold. Yeah, that was...
Yeah, and it scared Boomer, that did.
Yeah, Boomer got scared. And, yeah, so Layla ended up with a lot of stuff off that. And she was teleported back. Boomer, you were given, like, a very intense stare down with this woman that you didn't know who it was yet. But you soon will.
Yeah.
And obviously, you were fucking shit scared because you just saw this woman kill a dragon. The fuck's she gonna do to you? But yeah, moving back to the party, you guys were heading to the ships.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my. You found 4 ships, no colours, no sails, no rigging. They'd all been deconstructed to their base assets. It was a galleon and 3 brigantines, so 1 big ship, 3 medium-sized ships. And yeah, it was quite weird. All the supplies, all the rigging and sailing, it literally was the wooden structure of the ship and nothing else.
Yep, they'd been adapts basically, so we decided to. Well, they seem to have broken apart their ships, and we didn't want them to leave, so we deconstructed the rudders and stuff to prevent them from being able to escape, or so we thought.
Yeah, and about halfway through, you were seemingly spotted because then a trail of whistles and horns were leading back towards town. Every 100 feet or so, you heard like a relay of noise going back in the direction of town. Like, obviously, you'd been spotted. You continued doing what you were doing, but rather than doing it carefully, I think you just took your maul to him, didn't you?
Yeah, I just took the maul to it and just broke them.
Yeah, just doubled up, tinkering them and destroying them.
Yeah, because it was you, Boom. No, it wasn't you, Boomer. It was who was it? It was Deconstruct. I think it was Greytail.
Oh, it was Boomer that was deconstructing them.
Mm.
Because we were using his.
Because he caught up afterward. It was when Layla and you caught up. He did that, yeah.
Yeah.
Because the dragon cave was on the way to the ship, so we met up with them. Took Boomer and Layla with. Started pulling apart the rudders and stuff so we could go and hide them, and then it was like, okay, well that's not going to work, and just took them all to it and headed back to town.
Oh, this is because there was like a 15-minute discussion about how Persephone wanted a ship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's in the tree line, if I remember correctly. That's why we were like, okay, let's get out of here.
Pretty much.
It was the whistling, if I remember. It was getting closer.
It was going away. It was obviously like someone in the tree line had spotted you, and then there was a relay of whistles and horns going away, warning of something. Yeah.
Well, see, I thought that we were going to encounter them in the woods, like we were going to find a camp or something. I don't know if anybody else did, but I thought that's what we were going to find.
I think we did go and have a look, didn't we? And try and find a camp, but we just didn't find anything.
Yeah, because you were tree hopping, weren't you, if I remember rightly? Like, some people went away.
Yeah.
I think I ran after them and tried to find them, but to no outcome.
Yeah, I think the dice was a bit mean on you because you had more than enough speed.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, didn't happen.
Perception failed me. Yeah.
And it was at that point you guys were like, let's regroup back in town, where it's safe, and we'll pick up from there. Because it's clear you've been busted.
Yeah.
That's when shit got really weird.
Yeah, we got back to town and people were staring at us, like random people all over.
Yeah, all different sizes, ages, genders. Just giving the stink eye. Like, they were watching you intently, and that put you guys on fucking pins and needles.
Yep.
And
so we decided at that point it was we seem to be busted, so fuck it with this stealthy shit.
Yeah, you've reconvened in your tavern room, and then afterwards, I think it was like, let's use the tunnel systems that Persephone's found to our advantage.
So we found people on the inside. We
Yeah.
found dead bodies.
Dead bodies matching. Dead bodies matching the people that were staring at you.
Yeah. That was never made explicit at the time, but yeah.
Oh. Yeah, I didn't know.
They pieced it together a bit later. It didn't take. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think it was a bit later, and you found out.
We assumed they'd been replaced, so these are the people who've been.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like doppelganger.
It never explicitly stated until Danny said later it's a doppelganger group. Wow.
Yeah.
And while you were in the tunnel systems, the 3 entrances that were in this one specific tunnel system you were in got blown in. Got destroyed, and you guys were left presumably trapped.
Buried alive.
Oh yeah, we were in that circular chamber.
Where we? With all the bodies.
Yeah. I think, was it Boomer that had a bit of an upset tummy at that stage?
I think it was, yeah.
I think that had something to do with Layla calling aid on Z to teleport you all out, and Boomer recognising the same figure that is now stood in the room, which Cass and Evan both recognised immediately as Zariel. They had literally just teleported into the underground to be like, right, Gizand, love, I'll get you out of your hole.
Yeah, I remember that.
Half the party went, fuck that,
then,
and like I think 1 or 2 people, I think Deer went with Layla, and got teleported to the hotel room, and you guys used one of the 2 crystals of teleportation you'd literally just received. Bit lucky. So, and if you think about it, if you guys hadn't killed those assassins that came after you, and they'd managed to have escaped like they were trying to do when you slayed them, you guys would have been stuck down there. You'd have been fucked. Because you got the, like they I declared that they were looking to flee. One had pulled out the crystal ready to go, Suzavan, and you managed to slay them just before they could. So you think without them crystals, you guys would have been in a bother.
Yep. Also, for those who don't know, I don't know if we've mentioned it in the campaign, we really dislike Zariel. I know she's meant to be in D&D lore a devil, one of the Lords of the Nine Hells, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, we really hate her. Really bad.
Clued in. That's because Zariel has tiebacks to the previous campaign that was never streamed, before I even started streaming, where she was the B-Beg in campaign 2 that I ran for you guys.
We'll probably get more into campaign 1 a little bit later on, but to offer some kind of clarity on why the entire party assumed who she was and were freaking out, that is why. Bit of player bleed for them, but even then, like, nope, not the big scary lady that apparently wants to give Layla everything she wants in the world. Terrible. I'm still angry. I'm not okay.
Oh yeah, you've still got to deal with all that shit. Don't worry about that. That section of that campaign's still yet to be resolved. But we'll get to that in a minute. So yeah, you used one of the 2 teleportation crystals. Zariel did a bit of talking and left Layla to it, and that was when the in-party arguments got real, because Cass freaked the fuck out and was like, "What the fuck is Zariel doing here? How the fuck does she know you? What the fuck?" And yeah, that was an interesting listen, all right.
Then it was just then we had to make some decisions about what we were going to do, because we didn't know if we could trust people locally.
Well, I think the answer we knew for a while we couldn't trust anyone locally.
No, well.
Yeah, well, we didn't know how we were going to get out, and then where are we going to go? Because the Jarls we thought were on our side might not be on our side anymore.
Yeah.
Thanks to the assassins dropping kind of mistrust.
Yeah.
Trying to break out.
How do we get out this town? And even if we're out, we don't know where to go.
And you used the second teleportation crystal to travel roughly 2,000-ish miles back to where Layla's from, her homeland, Multisora, to go see Mom. And
All that though. sorry, I would just like to interject at this point, if that's okay, Danny?
No, fuck you. Go on.
Okay. No, I was just going to point out that you guys nearly lost Cass and Evan at that point.
Mm-hmm.
They nearly didn't carry on with you.
Yeah, because you were thinking of staying.
Yep, I was.
Yep, because if Evan stayed, Cass stayed.
Yeah.
At that point, yeah, they're a little bit ride or die, shall we say.
Yeah. I still say we could have taken them.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Enough to
Really?
get out.
We could have resolved the entire situation.
You reckon?
What? With 60
Let's go back
people?
then. Let's go back and sort it out.
They've left now.
No. They
Oh
haven't
yeah.
left.
Oh no, they
Yeah.
have. They have. I'll explain it because you guys received word that the town was sacked and the Lord was killed. But yeah, but that's you actually got told that in character when you met with
Brunhilde.
when you met with Brunhilde face to face. But that's later
right, yeah.
sessions.
That's later on, but yeah.
From a very tactical point of view, though, it would have been extremely difficult for us to leave an entire town full of people that now know that we are out and about because they were closing off our exits. That's a fight with 60-something people, I think it was. It was 2/3 of them.
Yeah,
No, it would be more than that.
We weren't going to go marching through the streets, killing anybody who came at us with an axe. Instead, strategy-wise, if we just played a little bit of guerrilla
No.
warfare...
You wouldn't
we'd have
march
had it
through the streets and kill anyone who had an axe. Just anyone who had a sword. You know, there's a big difference.
different.
Well, no,
yeah.
even like guerrilla warfare, they were hunted. It doesn't matter anyway. We made the decision we made, and we got out alive. So
Yeah, you guys were
I'm
torn
sure
on whether
bad
to
things
stay or
happen.
go. You guys were super torn.
Well, it came down to a secret vote, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That
we
tied the
whispered
first. Yeah, but the
down.
vote tied the first time.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, it did. We had to do it twice. But you guys ended up fleeing 2,000 miles northwestward to Maltasora, specifically in the newly found town of Beelzebarons, to the home of the mayoress, Cass. No, Morgan, not Cass. And
Morgan Endor.
yeah, which was Rose, Cass's character from the campaign before.
Yeah.
And Blackjack.
Yeah, another PC of a person who isn't in this current campaign at the minute.
Yeah.
A Warforged bard and a human
No.
Dunamancy.
Dragon Bunny.
Huh?
Try again. She was an Azamar.
Oh shit, yeah, Azamar Dunamancy wizard.
Mm-hmm. So, from the first campaign, basically the other guys, because I wasn't currently in the campaign at that time, I was in the first bit where Morgan was very different to End Morgan, but basically they changed the world and created a rip in time and space.
That was my character, Moon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Deck of many things basically gave us a wish.
Yeah.
And what was your wish?
It was more we changed a moment in fate.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like
it wasn't
the
proper
king,
wish. It was change something.
the change part was that the king didn't die, so thus the civil war never started.
Yeah.
So basically they rewrote the entire campaign.
Yep.
Which
And
put
it
you on
cost
the
me-
good timeline.
It cost me my character.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
good trade.
Yeah, it was a good trade, entire world. Stop the Civil War, because we mentioned obviously about Civil War. I was currently not in the session, I was nearby to where these guys were playing, and half of the party came and told me about it. I just sat there in
Yeah,
disbelief.
when
Well,
I'm panic rewriting, I'm having to panic rewrite the entire country on the spot. Which took me 5 to 10 minutes, and I fucking did it to a playable state as well. I'm proud of that. That was good. But yeah, in that
It was
time,
pretty
you all like about 3 or 4 of you all ran to tell Rose, like, oh shit,
Oh, no, we didn't. Right.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, there's me DMing my own game or whatever, and they all just rock up and are like, "Yeah, we just broke Danny's game," and I'm like,
The deck of many things, everyone.
3 sessions at that point.
The deck of many fucking things.
The first and the last time they'll ever use it.
Like, giving us cool shit. Sorry, Adam.
I say it's probably the first and last time they'll ever use it.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
I don't
about
know.
No, I don't know.
Last time I'll ever play with this again.
that?
It is
Yeah.
still as well. We can go find it. But yeah, so Morgan is basically she's been measuring the rip in time and space, which is where in Danny's world, I believe that's where Dunamancy came from. Didn't
Pretty
it?
much,
That's
yeah.
where-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it was
Um,
when that deck of many thing was used, it was at about that time that the Wildmount book had just been released. It was brand new stuff. And it was a perfect
So-
excuse of how to introduce it into my world naturally rather than... It was there all along. It was a nice little natural... Okay, that did it.
Well, that's it. So at that point as well, so my character from the first campaign, Michael had come in as an NPC, and there was a few other well, not an NPC, sorry, as a new character is what I'm trying to say, named Theon, who was a dish, is the best way I can describe him. He was a bit of a snack, if I remember rightly.
Wait, Theon?
From the Daddy comments. That
Theo,
was-
not Theon.
I was going to say, Theon was Adam's character, the one that got... got.
Stop choosing similar names, guys. I'm getting a little bit...
Hey,
so
Theo existed far beyond that.
we were in The Strays, which was set in Armdia, which is where Cass and Evan are from. So there's like lots of connections happening, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, in the first campaign, I had
Second.
a character and another character playing against themselves, so that's why I was kind of used to it in this campaign in Maltazora when Cass and Morgan met.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And having to break the news that your lovely daughter. Yeah, we've been looking after her, but she's kind of in shack with, that old chestnut, your mortal enemy, Lord of the First Ring of Hell, Zariel, that old chestnut.
So a bit of clarity, like I say, for people watching. The end of the first campaign was pretty much, I don't know how to explain it. There was a rock challenge.
A bard
Be the best way to do it?
Yeah.
There was a bard off.
The fucking bard, Blackjack, challenged Zariel to a rock off for the fate of the country and possibly the world, and fucking won.
Oh, that was mental.
That was brilliant. And then when we got back to town, I think it was at the end of the campaign. So Zariel was basically the deal was that she had to not touch him for 5 years. I think it was.
It was to postpone attempts at reenacting the Krieg.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we delayed things a little bit because I think by that point we were about to start Brielle and there was other stuff going on.
Well, the thing was, it was a case of you guys knew you couldn't beat a one-on-one, so the best you could do was ask for a stay of activity and pull out.
To postpone it, and then if I remember rightly, because we did talk about this afterwards, was that Yasin, or Jason. I'm so sorry, Michael. I still don't get his name.
Yeah.
It's longer. You went off to talk, and that's what gave Beelzebarons, which is the city that Danny's talking about. That's how the previous characters got that city, because it was previously a mind flayer place.
Yep.
If I remember rightly.
There was a Nautiloid ship that was stuck underground that you
One of the
guys
most coolest moments
blew
of my
the
life,
fuck
like
up. Yeah.
D&D life, sorry, was Morgan holding that ship together using Dunamancy. I did a Captain America, if you describe it. But anyway, and then, so that got postponed, which is why we were all reacting really strongly against Zariel, is because we all remember her being the BBEG. But yes, we got the city, didn't we? And then, if I remember rightly, we went out and partied, and that's how Layla came about, if I'm correct. Because I can't remember
No, Layla didn't come about initially. You guys went out and partied, and then ended up, Morgan and Blackjack ended up becoming a thing, and through all the high-level wizardry bullshit that Morgan ended up studying, figured out how to temporarily make Blackjack human, or at least human compatible to be able to make spawn.
Yes.
Yeah, don't think about it too much.
And what is it? Was it 4 that you ended up having?
Yeah, 4
children?
children.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So Morgan's now an archmage in this place, right, Danny? Like she's now an archmage.
Yeah, Morgan's become like uber powerful, own wizard's tower in the capital. Like pretty fucking sweet.
Yeah. I mean, I had a tower because like I came back into the first campaign a little bit later on, when the pandemic hit. Blah blah blah. Got more time, and yeah, it was fun meeting up with all you guys. But at the same point, so when we went to Multazora, that's where Morgan comes from, and Multazora as a whole. I believe there's also another character connection in Multazora, which is the reason why we chose.
Because you didn't find it until after you went back, but Boomer, he's actually from Multazora as well, and was the student of one of the other PCs of that campaign, the cowboy dragon, and that was Magog.
Yep. I miss Magog so much.
No, I'm sorry. It's not just Cowboy. It's the legend that is Magog.
Yeah, the one that one turned an Elder Brain from full health.
No.
Shot it 3 times, action surge. Shot it 3 times, dead.
You gave me explosive ammo.
I did, and I gave you bad news and an explosive ammo.
And we used an artificer to make it a rapid fire cannon as well.
Yep.
Yeah, it was fucking.
Doesn't jam anymore. Doesn't need reloading. So it's a machine gun, basically, and it was a sniper.
So yeah, this North Void, like where they're on about the Elder Brain, was so cool as well because we literally were just annihilating these things, like absolutely annihilating mind flayers. We were we level 13 at the time? I think it was, Danny.
About that, because you guys guys finished on like 14, 15, and it was towards the end game.
Yeah, 2 levels beforehand, but So we went to we'd
gone to Bielsa Barons, dropped the news. Massive family fight to the point where Layla was given the ultimatum of. And Zariel did turn up in that argument, and just to stir the pot as the little shit stirrer she is, because and Layla got given the ultimatum of go to your friends and stop being a dick and stop hanging out with Zariel because we've told you the shit she's done and does, or just go, sort of thing. That was kind of the ultimatum that was given, and yeah, let's just say the choices were not in Morgan's favour. I think you said it more for the effect and not actually expecting it to ever go.
Oh, yeah.
But then
Morgan's still Morgan at heart, she was still that.
And Zariel was waiting outside, yeah. And Layla went out to Zariel and basically just went, "Can I come and live with you?"
I mean, I still don't see... So, I know this is, like, as a player, because obviously the character Morgan was very angry and upset at the time, because they might have not had the best relationship, but she still had her best interest at heart. I'm also meaning, like, Morgan was a little bit of a... She wasn't the nicest person in the world. Like,
Blunt.
First Morgan got drunk all the time, and second Morgan was kind of a bit of a snooty book nerd, is the best way I can describe.
Yeah, the first one was a lot easier to get along with.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, filter of love, yeah.
That's not even what I meant. It's the fact is,
Sorry, Mike, I'm winding you up.
Like I say, the second Morgan questioned absolutely everything I ever did because of interactions she saw from the first Morgan.
Oh yeah, because Morgan, because she was kind of adjacent to the main campaign was going on. She was getting like visions of the previous Morgan from the other universe, which is in Chaos now, and this one kind of like started mushing together. So it all got a bit weird. But yeah, so Morgan kind of reacted towards Layla.
Yeah.
I'm your mother. I'm trying to help you. This person's bad. And it just seems like it was kind of a bit of teenage rebellion.
And when you went out the front door to find the sand had been burnt to glass from the teleporting in a large sigil and crest of Zariel. And the fact Layla wasn't with her friends, like, it kind of broke Morgan a little bit, because it was kind of like, she actually fucking went.
Yeah. Genuinely, the way that I thought, so I was trying to put myself in Morgan's shoes at the time, was that, you know, she thought her and Layla got on quite well, like, it wasn't ever, you know, so the way, if I remember rightly, that it was spoken about was that Layla and Morgan, so Layla thought that Morgan didn't like her because of the fact that she's not a wizard, that she's a fighter.
Yeah.
But even then, like, they'd seen each other only, you know, a few weeks before. Nothing was ever, you know, angry about it. It was from, like, a teenager's perception of their mother, who is a strong archmage that's very powerful, all that kind of stuff, and her not matching up to her abilities. And then Morgan's just like, "You're an idiot. What are you doing, child?" Like, kind of deal. And then I think, because as our new characters, I don't know about anybody else, but I was really trying to take a step back as cast, because I was like, "Oh, this is family drama. Nope, we shouldn't be involved in this." I mean,
we all left the room, didn't we?
Yeah, you were in like a study.
This is where obviously Persephone got very upset, because she doesn't like the arguments, because it reminded her of arguments she had with her parents. That's why she was like, "I just want to get out of it," and become upset by it.
So that is a good point. So as characters or as players, it's up to you guys. Do you think Layla made the right choice or not? No, because obviously we know. Maybe I should reword that, because it might have been that we all know she made the wrong choice because she went with Zariel. Big mistake. But if you've been in Layla's shoes, would you have done the same? That's probably a different way of wording it.
Ooh. I mean, my character probably would have done the same, because my character rebelled against her parents, hence where she is now. But you learn from your mistakes, don't you? And I know, as time's gone on, for my character, she's learned that she made the wrong decision, but she's too scared to go back and face her parents and admit that, because she feels she let them down, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Maybe, hopefully, Layla would think the same eventually. In my opinion of it, anyway.
Nice.
And
well, the rest of you guys?
I think because she had the choice of, there's the mother's always kind of telling her off, telling her she's doing stuff wrong, and then the other one is this friend from childhood who's been there, giving her everything.
Yeah, because every year she was basically groomed all four, and it came out that all four of the kids, and other children of the PCs of that time, if they had any, were very, very sneakily being groomed to love Zariel and the things she didn't does for this exact sort of reaction, which also was an amazing moment for, like, when the players realised that the second campaign never technically finished.
No.
Things were still happening even till this point.
Oh, no, that's because we were supposed to have had the 20th level fight 5 years after the session, and it's 20 years later, and we'd never had the fight.
I know.
We've still not had that 20th level fight that we were supposed to have.
I'm aware.
15 years before this.
That's because Danny's used that as an excuse to groom our characters' kids.
Exactly. All of our characters' kids are now being groomed by Zariel.
Yeah, as punishment.
Which I will admit is brilliant, Danny. Don't get me wrong.
Because she's not doing anything against the agreement, and if anything, she's just being purely lovely and nice to them.
Technically, the agreement ended after 5 years. It's just non-aggressive. So she could have done all she wanted to from 5 years up.
It's very true.
Like, we wouldn't have known. We just would have thought Zariel kind of vanished. Maybe we've looked for her a few times, that kind of deal. But this is why now, like, so it is. I'm guessing we're still going to do the 20 level one shot, because Morgan's amassing an army because this terrible person has stolen all of their children.
Only one. The others haven't gone anywhere.
This video,
now, at the moment, I don't know what's happening in Multisaur. I don't know. That's another good point. Did anybody else have kids after the first campaign? Probably should find that out now.
Yeah, you should do. I mean, I know my character. My character went off to the other continent and then went back and joined Michael's character to go back in time. Well, not back in time, into the alternate reality sort of thing, yeah. To try and help him, but he did say he will come back if he's alive.
I don't really know, and because my Magog's now going to be tied in with Boomer, I kind of need to have a word with Boomer, seeing what his backstory is, because he hasn't told me. We can tie them together.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But for now,
I don't know.
In this is kind of like that awkward, like, you know when there's like an argument in the house and like you've got friends over and it's like that awkward, that was the party because of this massive family drama. And Morgan, despite the foul mood she was in, and rightly so, offered out of kindness to send you guys away where you wanted to go, which you did decide to go back to Brial. But you teleported to the capital, which was Havelter.
Yeah.
Rather than going back to Helvetica. You didn't want to go to Fjöldalmore because at this point you had no idea to the validity. You had no idea to the validity of what the assassins had said. And even still to this day, it still could have been true. You guys just probably will never find out.
No, I don't know about anybody else, but I'm under the assumption that they were trying to mess with us after our interactions with the Skals since. I think it was a bit like, oh, we're in bed with one person, at least they're better than the other. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just basically, it was a trap, essentially. It was just basically like, yeah. Because if anybody said, you know, like, it's like, basically, if anybody had done something like Speak with Dead on us afterwards and gone, well, who killed you? And we could say, yeah. I think it was a bit of trying to mess with our minds a little bit as well, because at the end of the day, if we can't trust anybody, that makes us incredibly more vulnerable than before. I mean, very thankfully, like, I don't know how we managed to kill those assassins. I thought that they were going to kill Evan, and I think this was before we weren't even I think we were level 4 at the time, so we wouldn't have revival magic. And wow, Evan can't be I might need to ask you something later. I think
but
he can be,
like
but not the other one.
It was definitely intense.
No, it's so it was a bit intense, but then again, there were a few issues that later came out about the whole nearly dying thing.
Yeah, but no, like.
Wait, which time?
Oh, the fact that Danny rolled a crit against me, even though it wasn't a crit.
Yeah, but to be fair though, you guys steamrolled that encounter for the most part, anyway.
Well, yeah, they steamrolled it perfectly fine.
but yeah, you ended up in the capital of not Frosselgar, Havelter. Frosselgar is where you go to next, and it was ended up going to Frosselgar because you guys were trying to get to grips, having a look around, see what was what, just get your bearings a little, and just kind of gather. Cass saw a call to aid in Frosselgar because of a fungal infestation that was causing a crisis.
We didn't go to Frosselgar,
No, we found two things. We found that the Frosselgar fungal invasion, and we also found
Direwolf. Hundvar.
Yeah, big beastie that needed killing. So we said, well, we'll do the local one, and then we'll go and do the other problem.
Is this the point where we dropped the first bit of info about Cass and Evan as well?
When you come in here, can you grab some
Which bit?
I've got some.
I think this is where. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we started acting a bit older than we appeared to be, or was that a little bit earlier? I can't remember. I think there was a time where we said that, you know, elves. That might. I do apologise. That was in Helvetica. I'm sorry. I'm getting my timeline mixed up. It was in Helvetica because I remember Carl as Persephone said something, and it was like, wait, what? And then we transported at that second, so we didn't have to go through it. Sorry, carry on.
Nah, that's fine. But you found.
But yeah, I think then after that point we went to find a hunting lodge, didn't we? After we'd set up.
And you found the aid of a young hunter to go and hunt this legend that was Hundvar, that some thought was mere legend, or that some of the older hunters believed it intrepidly. Even had scars from fights to prove it. Whether they were true or not, you don't know. You did track down Hundvar, actually. But it wasn't what you thought. No. What this Arctic direwolf was, that was a scourge of hunters for decades and decades, was actually just an elven woman that was incapacity of druidic magic and had a vicious aggressiveness to human society, believing it to be a parasite and encroaching on nature, and nature needs to, like, essentially retake the land for itself, and the towns and cities should be removed. They are an eyesore on the world and injure it. You guys disagreed and killed her because, you know, reasons. Because
we didn't want to die and she was trying to kill us.
I believe you'd backed her into a corner at this point when that happened. I just think it was down to a case of you, rather than trying to either reason with her or look at her point of view, it was easier just to kill her. Or at least that's how I saw it from the DM screen. It was kind of dark, like, I'm not going to lie. It was like, oh, okay. Fuck.
Well, I think it was more on the lines of, she was saying a lot of things, we tried to understand, wasn't being understanding, wasn't backing down from it at all, and gave us no choice.
But it was definitely an interesting moral dilemma, like watching you guys fucking talk about it and like deciding how and what to deal with it. But yeah, so you guys dealt with that, went back to town.
Wait, I have a quick question before we move on.
Yeah.
Seriously, did you think that the reason why we killed her is just because it was easier?
No, it was more a case of you guys siding with civilization and just this is how I saw it, sat behind the screen. You just sided with civilization and just denied her, and it was easier rather than trying to convince her otherwise or anything. It was just, yeah, she's got to die.
We tried to convince her multiple times, Danny.
Oh, I'm well aware. I remember, but it's just I don't know.
Yeah, but
you got to think.
The
This
whole
is
side of things as well. She was more so from. I don't know if anybody else wants to step in, but from Cass's point of view, it was like this person wasn't listening to what we were saying. Unfortunately, civilization is a thing. She can't kill everybody, and it was a bit like, well, you got to deal with the problem, kind of deal. It wasn't. I don't think anybody took it lightly. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. Did someone take it lightly? Like,
oh no, who the fuck did it?
It's terrible, but it's a necessary evil, right?
Oh no, I get what you mean, Rose. But like looking at it from a completely detached point of view, it was pretty fucking dark, in my opinion. Not gonna lie, it was like I was just like, okay.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Danny. You're looking at it from the point of view of the NPC.
Oh no! I just thought like even just arresting her could have been enough, but it was just like
really,
it was brutal.
With someone that is so intent on killing anyone who comes near it.
Well, the thing was because she was crazy. That was the issue. She'd been.
Okay then. So
I'm sorry. I'm with Cassie on that. if she's off a trolley, how can you arrest someone? She would just, if you guys say, I'm sorry, you got to come with us to see the local constables. She'd turn around and slap you in the face, and then they're starting a fight anyway. I feel guilty. Exactly. So there's no way we could reason with her, and it was just one of those things. Unfortunately, we had to kill her, and that's. I feel. I know Persephone doesn't like hurting people that way, but.
We've done much worse things for a lot less of a reason.
Yeah.
I just find it interesting that that's the one thing that you're pointing out is that it was quite dark. Like we've done much more darker things.
Oh, I know, and I'll get to those as and when. But yeah, that was.
Well, as Kath and Evans say a little bit later on, we never said we were heroes.
Yeah, no, that is true. But yeah, because that takes us up now till that was episode 15. Because I've just realised we're about to creep onto the hour mark.
Yeah.
So in the next episode, we'll talk basically when you guys, because you guys go back to town and collect the reward, then it's heading to Frosselger to provide aid. We'll start talking about that because that I would argue that's the turning point where it like goes from tier 1 to tier 2, and like the sessions start ramping up a bit. First guest NPCs, things start to click and everything. It's good shit from that point.
I think as well you get to know a lot more about the characters.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll be the first of like the big major plot points.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
So yeah,
definitely.
So for those watching right now, you gotta wait a week, unless you watched it in the past. Then go watch it right now. I have also realised I forgot to change the episode number on the screen, so you have been watching episode 2 for the second time, but with different content. Fuck yes.
More time travel.
I have just seen it. I have literally just seen it. Shit.
Danny is smart. Danny is a very smart
Danny.
See it?
Oh, jeez.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Yeah, bye.